We're rolling now.
Okay, very good.
Great.
You're right.
Okay, to start, if you just want to say your first and last name and then spell them out for me.
Rod Saline, R-O-D-S-A-L-I-N-E.
And then your title for this interview.
I am one of the supervisors at STAR Township.
Wonderful. Rod, tell me about the excitement you're feeling. If you can describe, obviously this has been over a decades-long project in the making. To see this come to fruition, hopefully very, very soon this spring.
Well, we are excited. We're thrilled that the federal government and MediaCom have teamed together to bring broadband to STAR Township, to Alt Township, and Pequon, and a township called 5413. And so there are about 548 of us that will be given the opportunity to connect to broadband, and we are excited.
Can you talk about the efforts that it does take for rural areas like these townships you just mentioned to get broadband or the same access to some of the things that big cities take for granted? Social media, digital stuff, Wi-Fi is just in our pockets in today's world. So this is a big deal, but it has taken a long time.
Yeah, it is a big deal up here. We are in what would be called an unserved or underserved area, and primarily because of our population, that there are, I think, maybe 180 or 190 of us in STAR Township as an example, and 36 plus square miles. And so we are very, very rural, and it's tough for the providers to bring internet to us just because of the geography and because of distance between us, that it isn't economical, and therefore we needed some help from outside sources to make this work. So it is, you can cut that out.
Yeah.
I lost my train of thought.
No worries. What do you see this doing for the townships moving forward, innovation-wise, or maybe just allowing you guys to grow as a communities?
Well, there are lots of positive reasons why we're excited to have broadband up here. One is from a fire protection, from an EMS perspective, that communication will improve. There are people that run small businesses from their homes that don't have really good, strong, adequate, consistent internet connection, and so that will be served. There are lots of other reasons too, just even phone service up here. There are spots where we don't get phone service, and having broadband will help to provide even better phone service for us. Even though we're just 20 miles, 25 miles from Duluth, we're in a pocket, and this is huge for areas like ours throughout the state.
What have you heard from people within the communities around here?
Well, the word is starting to spread. People are excited. We still can't believe it because we've been working on it for, I think, some almost 16, 17 years. And so we'll believe it when we see the first shovel go in the ground, but people are getting excited.
Good. Yeah.
I think you
Great.
covered.
Perfect.
Covered
Thank
what
you
we
so
need.
much.
Did a great job.
All right, we're rolling.
Okay, Jan, same question to start. If you can just say and spell out your first and last name.
Jan Keogh, Jan Keough.
And your title for this interview.
I'm a retired supervisor for STAR Township.
Well, word from Ron is that you've been a big part of this project coming to fruition. I mean, really from the grassroots of this effort. If you can talk about, take me back to where this all began.
Way back in 2009, our town treasurer was a medical transcriptionist, and she could not work from home because she didn't have adequate broadband. So we learned at the time that surrounding counties were getting broadband at the time. We started investigating, why not us? And we learned a lot about what it takes to bring broadband to a rural area. So we realized STAR has a low population. So we got together with 6 other townships around us and created a consortium to speak with one voice. We all needed broadband. And we got some help from the St. Louis County and from the Blandin Foundation to get some grants to conduct engineering analyses, and we did interest surveys and satisfaction surveys among people and realized that everybody needed better broadband. And we kept lobbying and lobbying and lobbying. There were a couple of failed attempts that were no fault of ours or the proposers, but recently Mediacom was bringing broadband to some neighboring townships, and they came right up to the doorstep of STAR Township, and so we began lobbying them hard, and I'm so grateful for the federal government's support and Mediacom's interest in bringing broadband to our community.
Is there anything that you guys have been doing different recently to, you know, maybe like accelerate the process, or why now, I guess? Do you have a reason?
Well, the federal government's BEAD program, which you'd have to look up the name of that, provided a lot of funds to Minnesota to bring broadband to rural areas, especially in unserved areas. And that is part of the stimulus here, in that funds were available. I think we learned really recently that proximity to a network is very important. And because Mediacom was bringing its network to an area adjacent to STAR, it made it much easier for them to decide to come to us.
Can you just describe how you felt when they did show up and they're like, hey, surprise?
I think I started crying. I couldn't believe it after all this time. But, you know, the main lesson is persistence pays off.
Persistence pays off. Do you hope that moving forward for small rural areas across Minnesota, they continue to advocate for their homes and their communities, no matter the size?
Oh, I think so. I think townships in particular are more sophisticated than they used to be, and they know that they have to advocate for their citizens. So I think a lot of good is going to come, and this new federal program is going to provide something like 77,000 homes and businesses with better broadband. So it's going to fill a lot of gaps.
Yeah, great. Anything else either one of you guys wanted to mention that you're forgetting about? Or
Timeline, we said we don't know, right? You're hoping this spring.
April,
May.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mediacom has told us
Okay.
that, like Jan said,
Yeah.
there are 77,000 in the state of Minnesota that are part of this grant that we're
Okay.
part of. And Mediacom has told us that we're
all right.
3, 2, 1. In today's world, access to the internet might seem like a rite of passage. For many of us, it's right here at our fingertips. But for residents in rural St. Louis County, that hasn't always been the case. That is, until today. Probably shouldn't say today.
Let's. All right. Let's try that.
Okay. 3, 2, 1. In today's world, access to the internet might seem like a rite of passage. In fact, many of us, I said that weird.
We're good.
For many of us, it's right here at our fingertips. Okay. 3, 2, 1. In today's world, access to the internet might seem like a rite of passage. In fact, for many of us, it's right here at our fingertips. But for residents in St. Louis County, rural St. Louis County, my gosh. Okay, 3, 2, 1. In today's world, access to the internet might seem like a rite of passage. In fact, for many of us, it's right here at our fingertips. But for residents in rural St. Louis County, that hasn't always been the case. That is not until recently. I'm going to redo that.
You want to say? All right. Let's try that one more time.
3, 2, 1. In today's world, access to the internet might seem like a rite of passage. For many of us, it's right here at our fingertips. But for families in rural St. Louis County, that hasn't always been the case. But that's about to change. One.
Hold on.
Oh.
All right. Whenever you're ready.
3, 2, 1. While construction timelines are still being finalized, they're hoping to break ground this spring. In St. Louis County with photojournalist Adam Jaganich, I'm Maria Vollum, Fox 21 Local News.